Hello and welcome back to Goosebumps HorrorTown. This is the review of my opinions on the recent update that just happened, Event 25, Egg Monsters from Mars. Now this is something that has been gone for a while, like a while, and it's because it was so much work for so little effort in a sense. But I still like doing this because I like just giving out my thoughts. The last few updates we had before, event-wise, it was basically just kind of like in part 3, kind of like, this is what I feel like, my opinions and all that type of stuff. But I have an idea. See, as you've noticed this update, I've done something interesting when I did post commentary on stuff. So, I thought, why not do it again for this time? So, I'm going to go into, and this is how it's going to work, I'm going to dive into the game from my old saves. I mean, well, basically, it's update video I've done before, but you're gonna see gameplay video from this, and from there, you will see my opinions overall, and from there, we'll go in and see how things go about. Sounds fun? Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now, and see how this goes. Let me know down below if this works out very well. But anyways, let's bring up the TV and let's dive into my recording. I figured this would be a lot easier for me to be able to do it in this format as a test, just to see how things go. Because these are kind of hard to do anyways, but I know people like to read these, so I might as well go ahead and do it here. So, before we begin, let me go ahead and talk about little plot synopsis I have, so let me just bring this up here and let's talk about it. What's this? The game's back? Yes, after what happened back on Halloween night, everyone returned back to normal. It almost seems like something has landed in HorrorTown. It's weird, strange eggs have been spotted around town, and a strange man named Dr.Grey seems very interested in them. The kids wonder why as soon as the Martians make contact with them. Do they come in peace, or are they the new threat in HorrorTown? Now, this is the belated Easter and 4th anniversary update. That's debatable, because although it did land in May, I don't think this is an anniversary, and there's debate on that. You'll probably see why. This is based off of the Egg Monster from Mars, basically the same name of the book. Go figure. This is a small update testing, like Halloween was back in 2021. Started back May 20th and ended June 24th, 2022 at 9 a.m. EST. So, is this going to be way back? Are we coming back fully? Or is this a rotten experience because of these egg birds? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Let's talk about the good. So, let's go ahead and talk about that, shall we? First things first, the promenade's back. Yay! I know it's a small thing to be happy about, but you have to understand, after what seems like a year and so with no promenade, this is a nice welcome feature back. And it'd be interesting to see how they kind of cooperated with this type of setting. I actually do dig this. And not only that, but another addition of why I really like this update was it was a great adaptation to the book. And there's a lot of Easter nods to it as well. Like, for example, if we go back up here to Poro Dana, as the game would like to load in. This is the only downside for something like this, but it's good for my lazy behind. But yeah, Dana's dead. It's a little nice nod. They don't really flat out say it like that, but people probably with a brain will go, I see what they did there. So that's kind of easy and fun to do. The grand prize, as well as the items themselves, are pretty easy to get, and at first it wasn't, but after a few days into the update, they did fix that, and now it's a lot better, so a lot of people seem to have gotten it just fine. I saw Casey Loves Gaming got it, so congratulations to that. Certainly seemed fun with that. I knew he was going to get it because, he seemed like the only things he got were the items based off of the book cover. That's just my theory, but I digress. Anyways, the other one I want to talk about is this. The little scenes. I actually dig this scene, and I'm glad that this was returned back from last year in the sense of you buying it for permanent event currency, so it kind of stays behind. So instead of actually summoning it through the promenade, we actually get these little guys up and about. And aren't they're so adorable looking. I can't help it, but let's look at these blobs. Cute little beady eyes, little big ol' eyes, you know. Can't help but love these little guys, critters and all that more. And fun indeed. Now, of course, you might be curious on what I felt was the biggest good thing about this update. Well, I mean, if it's no problem to you, it's that of Dr. Grey. As you know, this man was free for his, what do you call it? It was worth for like 10k for coins, which is literally for free for people. And that was a very generous thing. I mean, this is the first time that a game actually did that. Mostly just for premium currency, but not this game. This game, they're basically like, oh, here he is for free. So, you got that going, so that's great. So, yeah, there's that. But after talking about some good stuff, let's talk about some bad stuff. So, let's go ahead and do that right now. So, all right, one of the first bad stuffs. As you can see, Dr. Grey's animation. That's all it is. Basically, it's not the fact his animations are bad. It's just he's the only one with new animations. Everyone else doesn't get any animations, and that is unfortunate. I think that might be something moving forward, but, you know, there was no task or anything with the new characters. They were just kind of like, you know, so it seemed like Dr. Grey was the only person who actually did anything. And I know somebody mentioned that when it comes to his walk cycle, he seemed a little off-put because his walking animation and the way he was moving didn't add up, so it kind of, you know, it didn't fit right with him. It was a minor nitpick, but it's whatever. The story felt way too short for its own good. And there's, yeah, I understand why, but nah, I mean, 6 parts, really? You couldn't have done like, look, I would have figured if it was like something like the vampires or the other updates before, back in 2019, I would be fine with that. But no, this felt really, really short. Like, ooh, couldn't have done something else. But I don't know, I digress. It's a nice little quick thing, but, you know, it felt like an appetizer instead of the main course, which I probably mentioned before, but there you go. Alright, another thing I want to complain about is that it was so easy for them that they could have just added some of these old Easter items back into the game as for more content, right? It was easy for them to kind of do, so that way it's not just, I know the new stuff is fine, that's fine, you can just have the new stuff be like a limited stuff, but like, you couldn't be bothered by bringing back some of these other Easter things. Like, it could have been easy to do. Hell, some of the animations back with the kids, like the main kids, they had animations with picking eggs, so you could have done that. You could have reused that animation and be fine with it. I'm just saying, throwing it out there, it could have been fine. But no, it's not. Right. Speaking of that, one of the things that was a bit of a gripe is the fact that this event was a bit confusing as far as how things gone. At first, the only way to get the eggs were through this little area here, and that was it. It was only later on that they added the characters, which was great, but before then, they had no idea how they would do all this stuff, and because of that, this whole stuff felt stretched out, because it felt like the only way to get the eggshells was through Seder, which, again, it's good to utilize him, but it felt like you had no choice but to use him. You know what I mean? So, that's the only main gripe with that. But I think people were having complaints with that. And, well, what's the big thing? What's the big reason why I felt like this update was kind of, you know, meh? Well, not really meh, but could have been one of the worst things about this. The delays and the glitches. Everything about that felt very incomplete. And the reason I felt like that is because, well, as you can see, the Halloween decorations are still up. That could have been easily kind of like taken away. I've mentioned this to them, but yet here it is. The little icon was that of the last one, which was the pumpkins, instead of using the eggshells like they did here with the event button. But no, instead it's not that. So really, that's one of the things that kind of made me kind of go, you know. And my overall feeling of the matter that I digress. But, yeah. As you can see, it's pretty much that. And that's basically it. There's not much I can talk about with that. But if you're curious, here is the cue card, so you get a good idea with my whole opinions and all that stuff and more. And yeah, there you go. Overall, this update was pretty nice. I mean, it's been a while, so everyone was kind of happy that this game came back, and a lot of people actually liked this update. Even though it was short, they were like, yeah, that's fine, I can take it. It's nice, it's calm, it's not really too claustrophobic. It's perfect. So, that's great. And, yeah, that's basically roughly it. There's not much I can say as far as the whole, how I feel about this update went, because again, it just kind of came and went, and yeah, it just felt like expanding everything like that. But I'm happy that the game's finally coming back, so that's great. But I digress. But anyways, I'll take it back to my outro self, editing wise, so that they can talk about more about what's to come up next or whatever I wanted to end this off as. So yeah, I'll leave it off to him. So, that's it. That is the update entirely. And, as we probably know now, update 25 is not going to be the last update. In fact, there's another one coming up, update 26. And as I allude to in my video that I must have posted by now, is that there is a new, this event is going to be basically celebration of Goosebumps' 30th anniversary that is happening right now. And not only that, but other stuff as well going on. So, it's going to be a celebration of this game, as well as the series as a whole. And I'm quite interested in seeing how well this goes about, and seeing how, moving forward, how this game is going to progress. Because it seems like it's going to be fed through us. But, it's better than not having any updates, and it's nice coming back here again. So, I'll leave it at that. I've been Grim. I'll be seeing you next time for whatever spookiness comes to our town. Until then, hope you didn't get yourself some rotten eggs.